Do you want to take videos like this, or like this, or maybe some pictures like this? Well then check this out. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle. And on this episode, I am pleased to announce that OrcaTorch sent me another dive light to go over. This dive light is also going to be an OrcaTorch D530V for video dive light, but this one is going to be 1,000 lumens soft light for taking videos. And on top of that, in addition to this light, we're also going to be looking at a snoot that attaches to this light. So if you like taking a little bit of a macro photography or videography, watch this episode, because we're going to break these items down and get in the water and go find some critters to take some macro photography and videography. Enjoy. So let's open up these items and see what they look like. First, we'll start with the snoot. There's the snoot itself. Comes in a little box. It's got a little bit of plastic bag. You can see the threads right here. The threads are screw into the front of the flashlight, and it's got a little ring right here so you can attach a cord, so if you take it on or off while underwater, you don't lose it. You can have that attached to the light itself. If you look inside, you can see a lens in there that helps funnel the beam of light. So instead of having your wide light, it funnels it down to a straight little beam. Now when we unbox the D530V light, we're going to see a lot of the same items that we saw in all of our previous lights that we reviewed for OrcaTorch. We see they have a pan flip on some of the other products that they cover, the other dive lights. Here's a user's manual. This is the warranty card for this light. There's our lanyard. 3 spare O-rings. USB charging cable, a spare orange ring that goes in the back of the light. This right here is the ball joint mount, so you can attach this to your camera tray. This goes on the light, and then you can attach this to your camera tray. I'll show you how that works later. We have the light itself and 2 USB rechargeable batteries. As we look at the light, it's metal, it's got a rubber band on it, there's a titanium alloy switch. Let's open it up. Twist the light. While opening this light, we see that there's 3 O-rings. That helps this light be water resistant all the way to 150 meters. That's 492 feet deep. You could take this light down to tech diving depths. Here's the battery. Put the battery right in. Positive side towards the lens of the light. Twist it back on. There you have it. Let's turn it on and take a look. Once you depress the light once, it comes on. Once for low, once for off. It goes high, low, off. When you have this light on, the beam creates a 72-degree angle beam. It's going to cover a good amount of area while you're trying to photograph or take videos of whatever marine life that you're seeing underwater. There's a little light indicator built in this titanium alloy switch. I'll try to hold it still so you can see that little green light, okay? You see that little green light? When you look at the titanium alloy switch and you see that light, if it's going to be green, that means it's going to be greater than 70% life left. If you see the orange, that means there's going to be somewhere between 30 to 70% of battery left. If you see it red, that's constantly red, that means it's going to be less than 30% left. And if you see it red flashing, that means you got less than 10% battery left. So you can use this light as just a normal dive light. It's 1,000 lumens. It has a little bit of a thread inside this lens. So if you wanted to turn around and use this for photography, you could take the snoot. The threads will line up. You could screw on the light to the snoot. It'll be attached just like that. There's this little hole right there in this orange ring. You can attach a little cord to that, to your light. So that way, if you need to take the snoot off to take some wider angle shots versus your macro shots, you won't lose your snoot. Now, to attach this light to your camera tray, we need to affix the ball mount joint. What we're gonna do is we're gonna unscrew the back of the light where you would put the battery inside. Loosen this thread right here, put it through here, screw your light back together. Don't tighten down the tightening screw in the ball mount joint yet. So here's your light, right? So now when you put the ball mount joint opposite of the button that you're going to turn on your light, then you can take your little tightening screw to that ball mount joint, tighten it down a little bit, not too much. There, you have it affixed right there. So now you can attach this light on your camera tray and get ready to take some macro shots with your snoot. I'm going to show you what that looks like on my camera trays in just a moment. So there's a safety switch built into this light. Now when you're traveling, you shouldn't have your batteries left in your lights while packed in your suitcase. You should have them removed. You can carry your lights on your carry-on, have them completely out of the light itself. The switch right here, if we turn this light on and we're gonna go to the boat, we don't want the light turning on in our bags, we just have the light turned on, and we can turn on the safety switch by holding it down for 5 seconds. Should go into the safety mode, and then we try to turn on the light again. It's not turning on, so we have to press the light twice to have it turn on again. So we got to hit 1, 2. There we go. It should blink. Yep, it's blinking, and then we can turn the light on again. So that's a little safety they built in with the light to help it from just turning on randomly in your bag. So the light has 2 settings, 1,000 lumens, and then it has a lower setting which is 400 lumens. At 1,000 lumens, you're gonna get 1 hour and 20 minutes of runtime off the battery. Now, if you put it on the low setting, 400 lumens, you're gonna get about 2 hours and 50 minutes on a full charge of the battery. Okay, so before we go out and get into the water to go capture some of this macro life with our snoot, here's my camera tray for my action cameras. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have my snoot placed up here. I got my video lights, but my snoot is going to basically spotlight my subject. Right now for my action cameras, I have it set up to take in-on lenses. What I'm gonna do, take my wide angle macro lens that I have from in-on, and I can either place it on this camera housing or I can place it on this camera housing. So if I had it set up right here, I can swim up to my subject. Let's say it's a little octopus or a lump sucker, maybe a nudibranch. I can tilt my wide angle macro down. I can position my snoot, highlight the subject, and then start taking some pictures and videos. If I want, and then this is gonna be in the portrait setting. If I wanna do it in the landscape setting, switch, just hit this button right here. I can switch this lens to this housing. And now I'm taking macro in landscape mode, and all I have to do is position my snoot, line it up with my subject, and start taking some video and photography. I had this flip, and this is a 15, it's a by 15 lens, so it's actually not too bad. You can attach it to your GoPro housing, and then to operate it, you can flip it up and just take regular video. And then when you see a subject that's tiny, you know, like you want to get in there, get your macro shots, you just flip this guy down, and then you can get down on your subject. And then you just got to position your snoot and get to where you can see in your viewing screen where it's spotlighted. And then you can start taking your macro shots with your Snoot. So now that I kind of went over some of our camera trays and how we set up our Snoot and with our macro lenses, I'm gonna go out into the Puget Sound, Washington area. I'm gonna find some of this macro life and we're gonna put them on stage just like how we were, and the spotlight would shine on us and we would perform for our audience. We're gonna put these little macro critters on stage and put the Snoot, that little spotlight on them, and we're gonna record them and take pictures, and we're gonna put them on stage, and you, the viewers, are going to be the audience. Don't forget to leave a comment if there's anything you guys like or have questions about while you see this footage. Leave a comment below. Let's get out there and go do some diving. Now, right before we go out and get into the water, don't forget to test your cameras with the Snoot at home. Whether you have to adjust your ISO settings or your shutter settings, make sure you do some trial runs with your camera above water before you get all your gear on and get in the water, and then try to figure it out then. So the first fish that we come across to spotlight is going to be a flatfish, a little soulfish. And we were lucky enough to come across several of these diamondback nudibranchs. They're typically 2 to 5 inches long. I would recommend that if you're going to try to get some spotlight macro photography or videography, to just go off and face them head on. And of course we had a bunch of marble-sized black eye hermit crabs out scuttling about. This nudibranch is a spotted aglagid. And here is a striped nudibranch. Here is a very tiny Metridium anemone. And here is an opalescent nudibranch hanging out on what's left of an old crab pot. So all in all, the OrcaTorch D530V Dive Light with the Snoot wasn't a bad light to kind of play with and do a little bit of macro photography and videography. And the light itself is $110 and the Snoot is $11. So honestly, for just around $120, you can get this light and Snoot. I would recommend everybody to check it out, especially if you love macro photography and videography. Thank you, OrcaTorch, once again for sending me another amazing product to test and do a review on. I want to thank my amazing viewers and members for also supporting my channel. I wouldn't be here without you guys. So we will see you on the next episode of Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle. Don't forget to like, comment, share, hit the bell notification, hit the next video at the end. Take care.